Hello and welcome to the show. I am here today on Forza Horizon 4 with another tournament. This is, well, it's a hill climb tournament as such, not quite the crazy extreme hill climb that we see on Fortune Island. This is using the little hairpin road you get on the mainland and a little kind of run towards the festival site. Now, for this one, we are racing some A-Class cars. We've got A-Class, but they must be rear-wheel drive, and no one's tyres are allowed to be bigger than 275 to try and get some different variety and different things going on here. This is a knockout tournament, a 1v1 knockout tournament. Now, because we've only got 11 today, one car has had a bye through to the next round, so this Monaro has had a bye. It was a random draw, someone randomly got drawn, and they are through to the next round. We will get this first race underway. Some classic cars, some modern cars in here as well. We will get the people ready on their marks, and then we shall set them underway. It's the Ferrari versus the Hudson. There's a little bit of a bump off the line, but that's fine. The Hudson's going to get to the inside for this first corner. Big slide for the American boat in all of this. Ferrari's got some good speed though, and that's going to be on the inside for the next turn. It's a little bit like Scalextrics through these first couple of corners until the cars sort themselves out. Still some sliding around from that big American machine. Now the Ferrari is pretty damn good when it comes to the top speed later on in the course, because you've got these twisty bits that you're going to need a lot of grip. Just about everything here, if it can be, is running on the race tyres. You want as much grip as possible through this section, but the course does open up, and there is a drag race towards the finish line in this one here. It's mostly done in the various drift zones, which helps. AI traffic shouldn't really be a problem all that much as we head through these next corners. The Ferrari's just gradually, I mean, it's not a million miles ahead of that Hudson. It's a little bit further down the road, but nothing too crazy. As we round the final turn, this is the run to the finish line. Now the finish line is the big H for the festival gate. Will the Ferrari have the top speed? It is going to. In this one, I can't quite keep up. Looking back, the Ferrari is going to take the victory. The Ferrari's across the line. Oh, there they go, ghosty mode as we head over here. They've gone out of the drone. I'm going to move my car further along. Thought I'd moved it enough. Apparently not. The Ferrari has taken victory. It's somewhere over there. The Ferrari is through to the next round. An interesting first battle, though. That's the big old American boat, but a good fight. Up next, we move on to more modern vehicles. In fact, this is about the most modern heat that we are going to have. In this one, we've got a BMW 1M that is, I think, on race tyres. Just. Won't have much PI to play with. But I believe that'll just sneak on some race. I'm looking at treads on the tyres. Yes, it has the same treads. Either way, it's the same tread as the S2000. So we've got two much more modern sports cars. Now, in a little bit of testing, the S2000 looked mighty rapid. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that one. We will get them ready, and we will launch them on their way. A good jump from the pair. Lots of noise from the Honda, because of course there is. It's a Honda on Forza Horizon 4. Hondas are the noisiest vehicles in the game by a million miles, especially the Civics. The S2000 has pulled that little bit of an early lead here, sliding from that BMW. As far as overtaking goes, this course is not the most difficult we've ever done. After the first one, ignore the ghost car. Sometimes the drone mode gets a little bit confused as to how to deal with vehicles being in ghost mode. Now this is a section where you're going to have to watch for cars being outside of ghost mode, traffic cars. There's no, as far as we're aware, no vehicles spawn on the road to the festival. I mean, this particular round is going a fairly similar way to the first round. The BMW, I mean, it's not so completely left in the dust here, but it's too far back to really be challenging through here, and it would have to have an unbelievable amount of speed towards the finish line if it was to reel this gap back in. It may be a smidge faster than the S2000, I don't know. However, what I do know is it's not going to be enough either way. The Honda will cross the line, and that is through to the next round. The BMW is unfortunately out. I mean, we know the S2000 is going to be up there. We know that's going to be one of the contenders in this one. So it is through to the next round. No mistakes, no problems up that course. A good round. Again, fairly close, but we get to see an overtake on the hill. So our next heat is on the grid, is ready to go. Back to the classics. We have got a Fiat Dino and we have a Lotus Cortina. We know the Cortinas are very, very quick. There's another one to watch. We suspect maybe the Dino can throw up a surprise, but the Cortina, small, light, quite a lot of power. They are likely to be very quick indeed. So we shall get everyone. I'm waiting to see who forgets that we're doing a ready command and just launches on the first one. It seems to always happen. We're off the line, and away they go towards this first corner. The Cortina is going to take the lead. The Dino tries to cut back underneath, and there is, well, it's an attempt to ignore the van. It gets a little bit on the grass, gets a little bit sideways in all of this. Now, the Cortina, if there's going to have a weakness, well, it's likely to be quite slight, as you see through there. Because small and light is good in terms of, well, acceleration normally out of these corners. Small, light, quite good power, good for agility and everything. However, of course, rear-wheel drive in A-Class is going to have a decent bit of power, even with race tyres, on the back of it. And they can be quite slidey, although can also be managed. We've got, it's a bigger gap going on in this one. The Fiat is just a little bit too big, probably. Not quite got the speed, not quite got the agility really to keep up around this course. Maybe it has a higher top speed, but that's going to be a little bit, well, quite a lot bit, in fact, irrelevant down here as we head through the chicane. It's flat out all the way up here for these vehicles. It's going to be the Cortina that makes it through to the next round. The Lotus is through. The Fiat, sadly, that is out of this one. Yeah, they've got a good initial launch, but good enough to say side by side, but once it got into the twisty bits, just could not match that Lotus whatsoever. Up next, we have a 911 with a wide body kit, and we have an RX-7. Now, admittedly, the 911 doesn't have the wide body kit, but it still has to run the 275 tyres, the same as everybody else. This is likely to be quite a fast heat. We are expecting both of the cars looked quick in testing. We will have to wait and see. It's going to be a good scrap on the way up the hill climb. We will get everybody ready. Everyone remember the start command. Here we go. It's off the line, and the initial jump will go the way of the Porsche. Now, the RX-7 is likely to fire it up the inside to try and get that position. You don't want to lose out now. You're on the inside for the first corner. You're going to be on the outside for the next hairpin. The RX-7 is going to want to try and make the most of this, because if you can stay there, you get to the inside for the next corner. The Porsche has just got the speed. The Porsche gets across in front. I think that might be a randomer up there. We don't have to worry about that. It will go into ghost mode and will be out of the way. Now we go to the faster sections. We've come out of the worst of the hairpins here. The Porsches run very, very wide through all of that. The RX-7 desperately trying to do something. I mean, it's right there. It's on the bumper of the Porsche. It's actually catching, so the 911 hasn't got any top speed. So if the RX-7 can stay close through this next section, that's all it has to do. Stay close to the Porsche. That 911's got some serious grip in these corners, but if it can stay close to it through these corners, gets a good exit out of here, it may beat it to the line, but it's got to be close. Is it close enough? Here comes the drag race towards that finish line. It is a wide-body 911 versus an RX-7 here. The Mazda's to the inside. The Mazda's going to do it on the run to the line. Fantastic race. That's what we want to see. Wonderful race for the pair of them there. The RX-7 did absolutely what it had to. It was close enough for that run to the finish line to just do it. The RX-7 goes through. Unlucky with the Porsche, that's quick. It's quick in the first section, but it just dies on these sort of this longer uphill section at the end, the longer straights. The Mazda, that is through to the next round. So, I'm in the final of the heat. I'm driving a Holden Commodore. I love this car. It was amazingly quick in motorsport. Haven't really used it much in Horizon 4 yet. Seemed like a good place to give it a try. I am up against a 340R, which is likely to be very quick. So this is going to be quite a challenge for the Holden. Fingers crossed we are going to be able to put on a good show. We can put up a good fight here. We've got the ready command, and any second now we will be released. Come on, Holden. Let's do it for the Australian touring car, shall we? Can we go around the outside of the Lotus at 10? Now, the 340R has got immense grip. Oh, it's got immense grip, but it's had a really big twitch at the first corner. It was literally what I was about to talk about. They have a lot of grip, but if the back end lets go in those cars, they're so small, they're so light. Oh, it's gone around. They can be quite uncooperative sometimes. They can be quite difficult to drive. And, well, that one lived up to the name. Oh, we've got the seasonal objective going through there. And not quite pay attention. I mean, it's unfortunate. Those vehicles can be, the sort of very ultralights can get snappy depending on how they're built and so on. And if you put a wheel on the grass as well up here, you can upset them quite easily. Well, I mean, we don't know. The Commodore is nice to drive, that much is for sure. I think it's going to be nice to drive, but it's going to lack a little bit of top end on some of the other cars. Going to have to hope that it's not lacking too much in all of that as we run up towards the finish line. The Holden is going to do it. The Holden is going to make it through to the next round. unlucky for the Lotus. Just a little mistake. The mistake early on is a little too twitchy, a little too uncooperative in those early stages. We have progressed to the next round. Here it comes. It's going to make it across the line. There is the Lotus. Hello. Okay, the Commodore is through. The Commodore might be the biggest car that is through to the next round of this tournament. So, we are on to the semi-finals. These have been drawn up first. Ferrari versus the S2000. We both know very, very quick cars. Second heat, the Cortina versus the Monaro. I'll be in the third heat up against the RX-7. I'm not sure who we're going to see win this first one. I think the Honda's going to be better in the corners. The Ferrari's going to be better on that run to the finish line. It's if the Ferrari can stay close. As much as we saw with the RX-7, if the Ferrari can stay close enough, this could be a tough one for the S2000, but we're going to have to wait and see. So we shall get them all ready, and then we shall launch the cars underway. It's a good start for the S2000. We are running this at night time, a little bit of a nighttime racing. Ferrari is to the inside. He's going to have a look. I'll go side by side. Honda going to keep it. Will make the position. I say the position sticks, and then there's that power of the Ferrari that fights back. Now, is the 250 going to try and cut back underneath? It does, but it doesn't have the traction. You can see the back of the car wiggling around all over the place. But then, again, it kicks in. That power will kick in on the exit. The Ferrari going for that late apex. Again, it's trying to make the most of its acceleration here. That's what it's after. I mean, that's what it's got to do in this. Is where it's stronger than the S2000. It can't outturn it, so it's got to outdrag it down any of the straights. The Honda, I mean, it's a big gap for the Ferrari, a biggish gap for the Ferrari to reel in towards the finish line. Much bigger than we saw from the RX-7 and that Porsche in the previous qualifying round. Here we go, we're out of the final of the corners. I think the Honda is going to be far enough away unless the Ferrari has an epic amount of power, which it's quick, it's not going to be quick enough. The S2000 will cross the line, and it's the Honda, the first vehicle into the finals. The Ferrari put up a good fight. I mean, it tried. It was there side by side for a little while through those first corners. In the end, it just didn't quite have the grip, and while it might have had the top end, it just needed a much, much longer straight. So there we have it. The S2000 is through. There it is as it's heading back. The S2000 is through to the final. So, we are on to the second of the semi-finals, and kind of a bit of an unknown quantity in the form of the Monaro. To be fair, the Aussie cars are quite unknown in these semi-finals, because I didn't have too much competition after a Lotus spun. Monaro got the bye, so I expect the Monaro's going to be fast off the line. I think the Cortina is probably going to quite easily outturn it. I could be wrong. I know the Monaros can be pretty quick at these sort of things. So we are off the line. It is... No, the Cortina is going to get towards turn 1 first in all of this. They're side by side on the exit. Big slide for the Lotus. Monaro's got a good run on the exit. Tries to get across, but it can't shut the door in all of this. Monaro, if it can hold it there and get a good exit, is going to make life difficult. The Cortina's now wanting to come across. There is enough space, and sure enough, that Lotus will shut the door. Lotus hit the rocks! The Lotus bounced off the inside rocks. It gets fired out wide. That's opened the door massively now for the Monaro. This is a good chance for the Monaro if it's got the top end. Actually struggling. See, I was thinking the Monaro was going to have the top end in this and just run away down the straights from the Cortina, but the Cortina has got some serious pace about it. The Lotus is going to have to do this the hard way. Up towards the next corner we go. Monaro is to the inside. If it can hold it, can it get the overlap? It's almost done it. It has. Now the Monaro is going to shut the door on the inside. The Cortina's not going to be able to find a way past in all of that as we go through the speed zone. Now it is a drag race towards the finish line. Has the Cortina got the top end? Will the Monaro's power start to kick in on the run up the hill? There goes the Monaro. The Monaro is going to do it here. The Monaro is going to cross the line just... I was hoping I could give it a shot. I can't do it. But the Monaro has done it. The Monaro... Holden is through to the final. That was a great, great race. I mean, the Cortina had it under control. It bounced off of the rock face. And that was enough. That is all it took. The Monaro just had the power at the top end to deal with that little Lotus. And there we have it. The Monaro is through. Monaro is doing some big celebratory donuts over there. That is through to the next round, into the final of the tournament. Can we make it 2 Aussie cars? That is a good question. So we're on to the final of, well, the semi-finals. We've got a proper Group A showdown. We've got a Holden Commodore, and we have an RX-7 for the last place in the finals. This should be a good match, I think. This should be a close race. We are on the outside for the first corner, but after that, who knows what's going to happen? Who gets the better launch? It's very even. Very, very even between the pair of us. Now, can I stick it around the outside? No. We do not quite have the grip to make that one work. Do we have... we're going to be able to find a way past. I think we might have better... Yeah, I think we have better traction than the RX-7 on the exit of these corners, but these are not big braking zones here. There is not really anywhere that you have a really, really big dive on the brakes, so we can't really try and make up time there. We've got to hope that we have better top end. So the RX-7 was not too shabby up against that Porsche. Problem is, my Holden isn't particularly fast on these. It's not going to be enough for the Commodore. We're going to run in way too deep to that corner, unless we have an epic amount of high-end speed that I'm not aware of. The RX-7 gets a little bit of a slide into there, which we're not close enough to capitalise on. No, it's not quite enough. It's not quite enough for the Commodore. The RX-7 is going to do it. It's going to make it through to the next round. Bugger. We just didn't quite have enough. There was not quite enough speed going on in this vehicle for that one. It put up a good fight. Just isn't quite enough. The RX-7 wins this battle. The rotary car will be through to the final. I don't dislike my Commodore. It might be a little bit too heavy in this field. Just a smidge. It doesn't have crazy straight line speed to try and make up the time. It may lose a little bit in the corners. It's not that far down, of course, but there we go. Well, the Commodore is out. That will make... It's going to be an interesting final. It's going to be an interesting final, that's for sure. Here we are with our finalists. We have got an RX-7 on the inside, we've got the Monaro in the middle, and the Honda S2000 on the outside, at least for turn 1. Monaro, a little bit of a surprise in this one. We're all kind of cheering on the Monaro. It'd be great to see that car do well. It's quite, I say, out of place, quite different to the other vehicles that have, well, made it to the final and have done well so far on this hill climb. We will send them on the way. The S2000 is definitely the one to beat. It has got the tougher job at turn 1, but we are expecting that car to be very, very quick here. So we shall get them ready, or we shall launch them underway. It's a good jump from everybody, very even between the, well, all of them are 3 wide towards the first corner. Monaro are going to try to go around the outside of the RX-7. That's not quite going to work. S2000 cuts back to the inside. Now the Monaro's got to be careful here in fighting with the RX-7. It doesn't slow itself down too much. Now the S2000 has also got to try and find its way through traffic here, which is not so easy whatsoever. Never is on these kind of roads. Does the Honda have a big dive to the inside? Yes, it's trying to get past that Monaro. It is going to get the move up to second place. Now, can the Honda catch them? Although the Monaro's not giving up, actually. Monaro is not giving up until the RX-7's got really good top speed. Now the S2000 clears that Holden for second. The RX-7's got really, really good top speed. It's not crazy powerful or anything. It just really pulls when it gets down these straights. The S2000 is... well, it's starting to reel it in through these corners. The Honda is there. It is looking. They both bobble their way across the grass. Now is the drag race towards the finish line. Has the Honda got time to do anything? Has the Mazda got the top end? It's going to be close. It looks like it is going to go the way of the RX-7. The Mazda crosses the line and takes victory. The Honda will take second. The Monaro put up a hell of a fight, but in the end could only manage third in that one. That was a good final. It was a good final. I mean, the Honda, the S2000, is, by the looks of it, is probably the quickest car up there, but it couldn't clear the Monaro particularly quickly. I mean, the Monaro put up a fight with the RX-7 for a little while in all of that as well, all very evenly matched, and yeah, the S2000 got ensnared in traffic a little bit, not quite able to find a way to get past, as there's some celebratory donuts from the Monaro. It is, you know, a third place, but still, it got into the final, which we're not expecting. So that's always good to see. The S2000 very, very quick up here. The RX-7 though was in the right place at the right time, was able to make that work. The Mazda, the rotary goodness, will take victory on this festival hill climb. Well, to finish off this video, the final was actually a really, really good race, but what about a little bit more chaos? What if we have the Mega Spanner final? Now, while nobody's making it through any further rounds of this, what we are instead going to do is have everybody that didn't make it into the grand final run all at once. A Mini has tried to join us. This is just what we have to do because the AI traffic is a pain in the arse. If only we could have like private lobbies where we could turn it off. But regardless, we are just about all ready to go. Let's not start in a second gear. We will woolala our horn. We will get a little bit of ghost mode. And Longbow forgot the start sequence in this one. You knew. It waited until the special round. We waited until the super special round, but somebody was always going to forget what was going on. We're 4 wide at the moment. The 340R does just about get away. That Porsche, well, Porsche put up a really good fight against the RX-7, so we know the Porsche is likely to be quite quick. We're stuck between a Dino and a BMW. I'm really sorry, Liam. Liam has unfortunately got murdered in that one. Not really through any fault of my own. I got squeezed between the Dino. The 340R's had another spin. 340R's not had a good time. We've not had a good time in this. I mean, going from the back row was always going to be difficult for us. It looks like we're going to have... Oh, Dino got transited. Well, the AI traffic has played around, has played its part in this one. I mean, we were always going to be in... It's going to be difficult. It looks like it's really coming down to the Cortina versus the Porsche. I think the Cortina might get it by virtue of the Porsche's complete lack of any sort of top end on the run up here. We're so far back, I can't actually see in this one. Oh dear, I think the Cortina might have got that one. In the end, it's going to be... Third place goes to the big American barge. Longbow, considering had to reverse going again, the mayhem kind of benefited a little bit, the Ferrari to some extent. There is a happy Cortina by the looks of it, the winner of the Spanners. It was as messy as we expected. It was only ever supposed to be run 1v1 because of how narrow the road is. Not really suitable for that size race, which is why we did it. Poor Liam's BMW got a little bit screwed, and, well, Ewan visited a transit wherever Ewan's gone, and the Lotus spun around again. It was madness. The Commodore is okay. It's just not quite fast enough, basically, in all of this. But good fun. This is a fun little tournament stage. That is for sure. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.